Hey folks, Todd Martin here on your Talks with Todd at Tuesday at 12, coming to you live from the home office of Amped Realty, as large as it is. Um, Wanted to touch base with everybody. Hope everybody's doing well, and I know the weather's been kind of tricky, but Gabby's helping me out in Oklahoma, where they are dealing with snow blizzards at this point. So if you're in the Louisville area and you're complaining about the weather, head over to Oklahoma where it's nice and snowy. You can head over there and maybe sled down the hill or just leave your car and come back and get it 2 weeks later. So I hope everybody's doing well. And today we're going to kind of talk a little bit about is it a buyer or seller's market, kind of what's going on in the industry, what we're seeing. And as always, Gabby is helping me stay on focus because I don't want to ramble too much like I already do. But with that, I'm gonna let Gabby take it away, and we're gonna jump into the questions. And of course, if you want to chime in and you've got anything to add to it, let us know, and we'll see what we can answer on the spot. If we don't have the answer, we'll definitely find one for you.
Yeah. So to start off today's topic, you kind of touched base on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in a seller's or a buyer's market? And how long do you expect to sell a home in today's market?
Oh, that's a really good question. So, we get into to buyers and sellers, and we look at what kind of inventory numbers that we've got overall. And when we look at the current inventory that we have for the Louisville market, currently, as of today, there are 4,932 active properties. But the thing that you have to keep in mind is that we're actually the 27th largest populated city in the U.S. with just a little over 615,000 folks, almost about 615 and a half, just a little shy of that. So, when we look at that, where do we put all these people? And if you've been seeing some of these things around the market, you notice that we're also seeing a lot of rentals come into play as people are questioning whether or not they want to get into to buying. Now, getting back to the original question on a seller or buyer's market, nationally and locally, we are still in a seller's market. So we do have a little bit of a lack of inventory with regards to that. And it's just not we're finding again still buyers are having to make quick responses or quick selections, but not as quick as we saw a year or two ago. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. We're talking about buyers or sellers market. Is it a good time to sell your house? It's definitely a good time to sell your house right now instead of waiting. I know a lot of people want to wait till the summer months come on, but one of the things that you're going to potentially miss out on is, what we saw about a year and a half ago was when you put your house on the market, you were basically the only house in the neighborhood, and you could expect the bidding war and those prices to go up. Now, here in Louisville, we're not like coastal communities. We're not like, Atlanta, Chicago, the much larger populous cities with lack of homes on the market. So we saw a bid up in some situations, but we didn't have the craziness that most of the cities had, where properties started out at 5, went to 7, went to $1 million to try to get that. Now, as far as the economic growth goes with Louisville, we usually range on the high side on annual growth rate of about 3.5 to 3.75% annual increase on your house investment. So we didn't have 25, 50, 100% value in a year go up and double on the home. So we're finding that a lot of people were staying. Now I'm rambling. See, Gabby, you're supposed to keep me on track. We're finding a lot more people are staying on or in their houses for a much longer period of time to gain that equity in order to move up. So when the houses go on the market, the buyers that had a fear last year of not being able to find something are now coming back to the marketplace. Now, when you're putting your house on the market, again, you're probably not going to be the only person in the neighborhood at this point, but you can still expect a decent price for your house, probably asking or maybe slightly above asking, because buyers are in a fear of losing that particular property, and again, having to make a little bit more of a faster decision with it. Now, And I apologize, I keep looking over here, but I've got a few notes that I'm trying to make sure that I get everything involved in. But still, the short answer to it is yes, we're still in a seller's market with regards to the home buying process. And the second part of the question that you asked, Gabby, is how long do you expect it would take to sell a home in today's market? Well, that's a big depends. Okay, now it depends on we've all heard what sells a property: location, 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 right? So it depends on the three L's, but it also depends on, have you done the right things for your house? Has the house been maintained? What are people looking at when they come into your neighborhood, and do you have it priced accordingly? You definitely don't want to be the cheapest house on the block, and you sure as heck don't want to be the most expensive house on the block. And so when you work with your realtor to price your property, you want to make sure that you price it accordingly, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So, with that being said, in the marketplace, it varies from neighborhood to neighborhood. So to give you a definitive answer on how long it would take, I'm not sure. If somebody had a custom build and they're in a very specific neighborhood and they're trying to get out what they put into it, it could last an extremely long time. If somebody is in an inner city, a more urban area, and they've got their house priced where the neighborhood is, and it's a very populated area, then it could sell a lot quicker. So, to give a definitive answer on that, you have to look at all the statistics and all the numbers that are around. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you out. I know people get different estimates from different websites, but none of them are going to know the market like your local realtor is to show you exactly what you could expect and kind of plan accordingly for that. Now, especially if you're a seller and you're also looking to buy, you need to understand that process as well, and to kind of get an idea of where and how the process would work, so you can budget accordingly and you can bide your time so much, just to make sure that you're in a comfortable position. But that's what we're here for. So we're here to help you out. So again, ask any questions that you have. Did that answer, Gabby, or did I ramble on a little bit too much, you think?
No, you're good. It definitely goes into depth on that question. So my next question is, how are home prices looking, and what do you predict they will look like in the next few months?
Okay. So, I mean, that's a good question. And I wish I had a crystal ball for every time somebody asks me a question about the real estate market. It's always easy to strike up a conversation while I'm on an airplane, or, just standing in line at the grocery store. What do you do for a realtor? Oh, well, what do you think the market's going to do? And again, it depends. Are you looking to sell? Are you looking to buy? Are you looking to invest? Really kind of where you want to see the market go. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. So back in 2012, the U.S. median home price was about $157,000. Today, it's almost doubled to about $289,000, right? So we see the increase going up. Now, one of the things that you have to understand is that when we look at the price of property going up, that's the property, that's not the structure on the property. The price of land never depreciates, right? It only appreciates because they're not building anymore. What is the variable is what is on the property itself. Is it a house? Is it a structure? Is it in good shape? Is it in bad shape? So, how do we see that price point going up? Again, unfortunately, it depends. And that's where the local expertise comes into play, to say, okay, this neighborhood's gone up, increased in X amount percentage of value. This neighborhood's gone up in X amount percentage of value. This neighborhood's dipped in X amount percentage of value. And again, those are all done through external and internal factors, what the neighborhood has and what's coming to the neighborhood. So you have to look at the bigger picture to understand that. But overall, in general, I would say that the housing market is continuing to rise. We don't see a setback, but we don't see the gains that we saw just a few years ago. We see a more steady pace. Again, just kind of like the hare and the tortoise, slow and steady is going to definitely win the race in this one. That's for sure. So yeah, I do see it increasing. Percentage, dollar-wise, it's hard to tell unless you're looking at your specific location to understand what you can expect to get out of your property once you're ready to move. So overall, still very, very positive in the movement.
Awesome. So my next question is, what does the demand for houses look like?
Hmm. The demand for houses. Well, that's still there's still a big demand. Um, kind of getting back to last year a little bit, everybody talked about it was a seller's market. It was a seller's market. People were putting their house on the market, getting multiple offer bids. Bids were coming in, and people were just outbidding the properties like crazy. I can tell you in two instances where I had clients that didn't get the property. The first property was listed for 85,000. They put a bid in on it for 125, and we got outbid. The second property was actually listed for 1.2 million. We put a bid in at 1.3, didn't get the bid. So, I think that those days are gone with regards to, the property and the bidding, and is there still, capability. But what we were also seeing last year in that marketplace is people were just giving up. People didn't want to fight that. People didn't want to do that anymore. But as coming back now, we're still seeing a stronger buyer's market. The housing inventory is still starting to increase slowly but surely because the sellers that want to move are now putting their houses on the market because there is a place to move. Whereas last year and the year before that, they weren't seeing much of a place to move. So that's why we had those situations that we did. So yeah, again, overall positive on the movement, with the buyers.
Yeah, so then my last question is, what do the mortgage rates look like?
And Gabby, that's all part of the equation as well. And the mortgage rates are actually looking pretty good. We are still below 5%. And I know you guys are probably tired of me saying this, but it depends. I mean, that's kind of like, hey, that's the market. It depends on the individual, right? So, what's your credit score look like? Do you need down payment assistance? Do you need a no money down program? Are you a first time home buyer that needs some grant money? What's your debt to income ratio look like? Really, these things are kind of like what's happening. We're still seeing the rates low. For example, today's rate, as we're talking this Tuesday, the 26th, I think it is, February 26th. Yeah, all day today, February 26th, 2019. The 30-year fixed rate is running right at 4.375, and the 15-year is 3.875. Now, I can tell you, I just sold a home earlier this year, and again, this is a depend situation, on a 5-1 ARM, which is a little bit different than the fixed rate that most people are dealing with. And that house actually sold and closed for 3.375%. So again, whatever your situation is going to determine whether or not you get a good, better, or best interest rate. And it depends on your debt to income and the amount that you've got to put down and your credit score. But again, don't be discouraged by that. There are things that we can definitely do to help you get that done, and understand that when you're looking to buy, it's not like buying a car where I'm going to go back and talk to the manager and kind of see the deal I can get for you, and we're gonna work something out, and I'm going to include the undercoating. Don't worry, it's free. So those things, there's more complicated steps to it, but we're here to make it easy for you. Again, sellers are coming back into the marketplace. We're still seeing good prices on houses that you're putting up on the market. Interest rates are still low, and the demand for housing is still high. So overall, it's a win-win situation for both parties. Just having to know how to circumnavigate the housing market is going to be your biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? That's going to be your biggest step in overcoming any negativity that you run into. And again, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you out. So yeah, interest rates are good, and we've got places to sell you. And I've even got some secret places to look that people don't know about houses. So what do you think, Gabby? Did we cover most of the stuff right now that we're talking about? Do we have anything left out there that we need to discuss?
No, that answered all of my questions.
Okay. Well, hey, folks, again, I appreciate you stopping by the blog. If you've got any questions, feel free to text me or call me or email me. Easiest way is 502-220-4663, or think of it as 220-HOME, HOME, and I'd be happy to get you answers back. And, don't keep us a secret. We're always here to help. Use this as a reference or resource. And if you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, we're always here to help and always happy to chat. So we look forward to talking to you next Tuesday or anytime in between. Thanks, Gabby, for all your help. And thanks, everybody. We'll catch up with you later.